comedic video game reviewers on YouTube. Who doesn't love watching one of them videos? You're interested to learn more about this game, and you come across this strange creature and, well, yes, he's reviewing the game at the core. His thoughts, his opinions, his love, well, it's a curse. Now, on paper, that sounds boring, and depending on the person, that sometimes is the case. However, his jokes are funny, he adds gags, new characters, cause why not? And before you know it, it's a whole freaking mini-movie full of plots and stuff, all about a stupid video game. This is what I love about them. You come for the reviews, and you stay for the funnies. And before you know it, you watch more, not even care about what the game is about. There's a video about a blue stinking border, and it's amazing. And it's all thanks to one independent film-loving guy, the angry video game nerd. Ah man. You can't go wrong with this guy. He's like the Atari of video game reviews, only this time, he never crumbled. For those who don't know, the Angry Video Game Nerd, or James Rolfe, started doing 2 videos on VHS back before YouTube even existed, about 2 bad NES games, simply called Bad NES Games. It was about him as this, well, angry nerd who hated the game so much. Swearing a lot, drinking beer, pointing out all these flaws, and that was gonna be it, until his friend Mike Matei, who is super awesome by the way.
Not really Batman though.
You're not Batman! Batman, you're Batman! I'm Batman!
Until he convinced James to post them on YouTube and make more. And thus, the Angry Nintendo Nerd was born, and the rest is history. To this day, words can't describe how much of an impact he's made, so I'll try my best not to, since I kinda went off on that whole tinny. So after watching this review, go watch one of his videos. They're amazing no matter which one you choose. Just as long as you don't mind And then in 2013, Freakzone Games developed the Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures for PC, 3DS, and Wii U. Side note, I'll also be reviewing the sequel, The Angry Video Game Nerds 2 Ass Simulation, released in 2016 for PCs only, and The Angry Video Game Nerd 1 and 2 Deluxe, a remake of the 2 released 2 years ago. The real reason I'm doing this video is because I got the review code for Deluxe back when it released, courtesy of a friend who gave me a good note on Screenwave Media Games. Really sorry how late it is. The story starts with the nerd and his, I think friends, playing a bad NES game. Sounds about right, until suddenly it sucks them all in. By the balls, off to a great start, and that's it. That's all the story. This place is called Gameland. Go. Short, simple, and to the point. You start off in this simple tutorial about how to play the game with Navi? Alright. And after that, you get to choose which stage you'd like to tackle in any order. Sort of like Mega Man. Actually, the game plays pretty similar to Mega Man. You can run, jump, and shoot while doing some tricky platforming and getting them enemies out of the way. Only this time, you can aim in any 8's direction, which is nice. There's not really a whole lot to say. What you see is what you get. There's some power-ups like the Glitch Gremlin, which freezes everything on screen, Super Mecha Death Christ, which destroys everything on screen, and the rocks. It goes in an arch and misses everything. Woo. You can also get this to upgrade your gun until you take a hit, but keep it on you and it can destroy bosses. I'll get to the bosses later. You can find and unlock different playable characters throughout the game. You've got the skeleton guy with the guitar who can shoot waves, there's Mike who can see and destroy certain blocks to reveal goodies, and wields a lightsaber, and then there's the BS man. What? I still want to be a good boy. He has a double jump and can shoot up some poop. They're all pretty useful, but I mainly go for the nerd because of his jump and gun. Though the dead guy's guitar is very useful in lots of areas since it can also go through blocks. There's hidden areas to find, there's also crab pickle to discover, and you can heal yourself with beer. I know, the script is a mess. And each stage has a gimmick too. TIE Thoughts Consume has a lot of fire and you get to ride a giant laser shark. Blizzard of Balls has a lot of ice and a section where you get to serve the corpse of Santa. Boo Haunted House is very dark so you can't see very well. Dungeons and Pee Holes has you finding a key to progress. Beat It and Eat It, you don't want to know, and more. All of this makes for a pretty good game. But there's one problem. It's way too difficult. Granted, I should have started on easy mode where there's no game overs or something, but wow. There are pretty annoying placements with the enemies, things you can't see coming, the platforming itself can be difficult, but the worst part is the death blocks. You touch them once and you lose a life. The problem is that they went a bit crazy with the death blocks. Look at this! If you're not pixel perfect, you're dead. And then there's the bosses. Some of them are alright, but most of them are so goddamn annoying. I really should have went to easy mode, because once you lose all of your lives and get a game over, it's back to the stage select. I was at a point where I really wanted to give up. It was that frustrating. If I was to compliment the game on anything, it's the presentation. They really did go all out with how it looks, sounds, and the references. I mean, I don't really know why there's a happy world with a unicorn as a boss. What were they thinking? Everything's 8-bit, which is expected. The bosses are from past AVGN episodes. The rock I mentioned is a reference to another AVGN episode, same with that one beginner's trap. Ha! But then, we have the music. The music is so awesome. Every single piece is a joy to listen to. Even the pause menu. Even the goddamn pause menu. But enough talk, I've reached the end. Laughing, joking numbnuts. And it's even harder than the others! Ah! But then, we get to the programmer, Fred Fudge. There is a pattern to this, but good luck figuring out when you have to play the whole stage again! And finally, I beat him. Gameland falls apart, the nerd is free, and starts playing the game again. Yep, that's him alright. So, in conclusion, it's almost a really good game, but a high level of difficulty kinda ruins the whole game for me, which is a real shame. I really love everything else about it. I understand what they were going for, but they kinda tried to make it more AVGN themed rather than make it fun for the players. I say get this one only if you're a die-hard AVGN fan and have played a few hard games before. But then 3 years later, a sequel was made. Will this be any better? Well, let's find out. The story starts with everyone enjoying life, when suddenly a beam struck the earth and turned it into a crappy video game, and the people into monsters. All except for the nerd, because why not? After getting through the tutorial, the nostalgia critic appears and tells you that to save the world, you have to collect these sex force pieces. I don't know, they could have come up with something better. Well, he wants to save the world first, so kill him. Well, looky what we have here. A map. So rather than 8 big levels, we've got 5 worlds, each having 3 smaller levels and a boss at the end. On top of that, in this game's normal mode, after you've beaten a level, the lives count will go back up to 20, which makes things a lot fairer. And that's how I would describe this game. It's still really hard, no doubt about that, but it gives you a chance, more or less. The level design is way better, there's only a few death blocks, and the newly added features. The items are better, I've barely come across the rocks, there's these build kegs that refuel your health, and the F-bombs that, well...
It's time to start dropping some F-bombs!
Throughout the levels, you can also find some power-ups. You can use the shoes to wall jump like Mega Man X, use the cape to slowly fall, charge up your gun for a stronger shot, and this thing that reveals hidden blocks. There's also this tin that lets you shoot 3 bullets at once, but it goes away when you take damage. Oh, and you can collect these NES cards that spell out nerd. Neat. And even the game looks amazing. There's the sewers that's full of poop. That checks that off the list. There's a Japanese looking place with the music loop from Hong Kong 97? Oh yeah, the music's just as good. Moving on. There's a black and white horror world which, you know what? Fine enough. He's a fan of monster movies. A board game world which, well, he has mentioned board games every now and again. An Area 51? 2? Based on the Angry Video Game Nerd movie? This is a good game right here! And the humor doesn't stop at all. If you're a fan, you're really gonna love this. Especially when it comes to the bosses. You've got board games. Oh. Well, he's a mini boss, but I just wanted to bring him up. There's that guy from the movie who turns into a freaking scorpion. And then you have all of these monsters. Then the nerd just tells them to F off and finishes the level. Having them as their own level helps out for sure, but they haven't gotten any easier, so get up off your ass and start pushing some buttons. Once you've obtained all of the Sex Force pieces, you can tackle the last level. It's all red like the Virtual Boy and it's so damn hard! And then, the final boss, Death What's-His-Face from the movie. Oh yeah, the critic dies. This is also a really hard boss. This takes a lot of skill to beat, so prepare to sit there for a while. But once you've defeated him, go and get the good ending? Oh, shove off. And that was the second one. A very big improvement from the last one. Still very hard, but it's miles better than the first one. I would say go get this one, but then we have the remake, AVGN 1 and 2 Deluxe. The reason I'm doing this video in the first place. What started out as a simple bundle port to the next generation of consoles turned into a full-blown remake that even puts Super Mario All-Stars to shame. Yes, I said it, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. Starting with the first part, it uses a second games engine, which is nice. The normal difficulty has infinite lives. Yes! They replace a huge chunk of the death blocks with just spikes, which helps balance the difficulty by a whole lot. But if you did like how it used to be, you can pick the old school option to bring on the death blocks. Everything looks a whole lot nicer, the main theme is better, the items from the second game are here, including the bear kegs. Thank you! They've replaced the unicorn boss with the Bernstein bears, which is very fitting if you watched the episode. And they've changed up Fred a bit to line up more with Gilbert Gottfried. Rest in peace, goddamn legend. The second one doesn't have a whole lot of improvements, but it does also have some of the death blocks replaced, which wasn't needed, but it's nice. The big differences are the aesthetics. The nostalgia critic has been replaced by Fred to tie in more with the first game, and all relations to the AVGN movie have been swapped out with, well, just random stuff. E.T. is now, well, a different E.T. Dark Vader is here, and instead of this guy, we've got a poop monster. Well, okay, I suppose the monster shot out a Super Mecha Death Christ item, which completely destroyed the boss with ease. They should fix that. Oh yeah, Japanese world is a little more Japanese. On that weird topic, it does need some fixing up. There's this one time where I died with the boss, and when I respawned, there was no music. Oops. Also, I'm pretty sure these are supposed to kill me. They did fix the hitboxes on the teleporters. That crap was super annoying. And just when you think that was all, you unlock the tower. 3 brand new levels with some fresh new ideas. Oh, and I unlocked the skin. You don't get the upgrades with this skin. And at the end of it all, Bugs freaking Bunny. Man, what an epic finale. And now I'm in hell. So, that was AVGN Adventures 1, 2, and Deluxe. What do I think of it all? Well, the first one is for hardcore fans only. Very good, but very unfair. The second one fixes up a lot, while keeping a challenge that doesn't want to make you rip your hairs off, except for the last level on boss. And Deluxe makes them both way better and adds even more content. You could buy the originals on Steam if you want. Not the eShop because that's not gonna work soon! But without a doubt, the Deluxe edition is the way to go. And as long as you don't mind your parents walking into this, you'll have a really fun time. To be honest, even with the nerd slapped onto this, I never thought it could be so good. This is what happens when game developers care. I'm so sorry I'm late!
Guess who?
Yep, it's about time to review more games the QA Guild has sent me. Really sorry I'm late. Thanks, QA Guild. So, since I don't have a good intro this time, the first game is Kerr, developed by Really Ragdoll Studios. I like the name. This is the first game, so let's see how they did. The game starts with you working for this company to kill things, I guess? And then we're sent to a planet to find somebody, I think. The game is a first-person shooter. Not one of my strengths, but I can manage. And the game looks like Minecraft in hell for the PlayStation 1. Not too bad. You know, for the first game, not too bad. This is why I need a thesaurus every now and again. It plays decently enough, and you have this kick move for wall jumping and jumping higher, which gives me Sheila vibes. Honestly though, that's about all I can say. It's pretty hard for my taste, even at the easiest setting. I kept dying here. Probably not the game's fault, but I just can't make it any further. I will say this though, they are doing a good job on the updates. Before my most recent playthrough around the game's launch, it was way too difficult. What's supposed to happen is you buy health and ammo from these vendors. However, they didn't work for me for some reason, and I couldn't find any other way to get them, so I kept running out of ammo and dying. Now, they fixed the vendors, and you can even get some pickups from kicking boxes. Good on you guys! Again, that's all I can say right now. That first playthrough wasn't a good impression on me, and the fact my old laptop was running poorly. But this update shows that they're listening. Not my kind of game, but I do look forward to more. The second game is called Freshly Frosted. It's about donuts. Yum. This one was developed by the QA Guilds themselves. Huh. Neat. So this girl is daydreaming in the clouds and imagines a donut factory. Go. This is another puzzle-like game. Your job is to create conveyor belts to make sure your donuts reach the delivery counter. Sometimes you'll have to put stuff on the donuts like frosting, sprinkles, etc. And they all have a certain order to go in. Honestly, not a bad puzzle game. Like I said before, I'm not very good at puzzle games, and this one can get tricky at times, but it's good for what it is. You've really got to think your way through this. I also like the narrator throughout this, sometimes helpful hints, other times just encouragement, and then just plain shower thoughts.
Spring is so lovely. The pastel sky right now is my favorite. Did you know that automatic donut making is older than sliced bread? We should be saying that's the best thing since donut factories.
So yeah, not much else to say. If you like puzzles, give this game a shot. And yeah, that's pretty much all for this video. This is probably the shortest one yet. Sorry guys, if you think these games are up your alley, give them a go. Now, if you'd excuse me, the QA Guild is making me hungry for some donuts, so I should probably go outside and touch some grass! Bond. James Bond. The classic film series has been going on since 1962, about an English secret agent working for the Secret Intelligence Service, or MI6, not to be confused with MIB. To be honest, I've never really gotten into the movies. I've watched Skyfall because nobody would shut up about that one song Adele did. I've watched Skyfall, Spectre, and I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing that, and more recently, Goldeneye. Out of the three, I can say I prefer Goldeneye. Maybe I might change my mind if I started watching more, but anyway. The movie was about a satellite weapon called Goldeneye, which could make any electronic device in its target explode. Alec Trevelyan, an ex-partner of Bond, plans to use it to destroy London. So, of course, Agent 007, that's James Bond. I'm sure there's someone out there who clicked on this video who doesn't know what the double O's are. Must stop him and save the day. The movie sold pretty well at the time, and this was after a 6-year hiatus of James Bond movies. In fact, it was the best-selling movie at the box office compared to the previous films. And with every popular film comes a video game adaptation. Meanwhile, Nintendo and Rare were busy chatting with each other about their next game, Goldeneye 007. Initially planned for the Super Nintendo as a 2D platformer, it then was decided to be a first-person shooter for the upcoming Ultra 64. By the way, they were developing the game before they had any proper development kits, and were using Sega Saturn controllers. Just found that amusing. By this point, you'd think that they would just put little effort into this game and ship it just to make some more money. And then you'd get an F for not doing your research, because this, my friend, was Rareware. This game took them over 2 years to complete, right before the next James Bond film was being released. They even went as far as going to the film sets to accurately create levels from the movie. And so, with some inspiration from Virtual Cop and Super Mario 64, the game released with high praises. So, here I am, gonna play the game. Cause that's what I do. Playing games. Because why not? I don't feel like sound review. Huh, this is nice. There's widescreen. Well, first things first, the control feels weird. The Nintendo 64 controller isn't the greatest to play FPS games with. But luckily, the game was built with this in mind. The gun sort of auto-aims, and you can even press a button to go into this aiming mode for more precise shooting. And you can also sort of change the control styles to best suit your mood. And if you have 2 controllers, you can play with them like that. I have nothing else to say, that is honestly very cool. I mean, it's still weird for me to play with, but hey, now you have that option. So the game plays out like this. You have a list of missions to complete. Once they're all completed, you must find your way to exit the level. They range from saving hostages, talking to someone, collecting data, and making sure not to shoot a scientist. There's a lot of that. All while shooting whoever you see. There's plenty of weapons to pick up from your enemies. You have to make sure you don't let them sound the alarm or get caught on camera. This is a genuine upgrade from the Doom games, and the game follows the movie pretty faithfully. Not 100%, but you'll recognize a lot of these moments. Boss tapping in the password, you bungee jumping off the dam, the parts where you had to destroy the tanks, even James Bond dropping from the vents to the toilets. Imagine if it brought back the tank James used to destroy. You can go in the tanks! Twice! I'm squishing everybody and blowing crap up! It doesn't control that great, but what? I seriously lost my mind when I found this out, and I was already going nuts when I got to that part in the movie. And the music. Oh, sweet jeepers, the music. I may not be a James Bond fan, but this sounds just right. Shout out to the pause menu team. So far, things are looking pretty good. And then we get to the part where you unsubscribe to this channel. This game is very difficult. Now, granted, I'm not too great at first-person shooters, so I don't blame you if you think my opinion is invalid. But this is my opinion and you clicked on this video, so shut up! Well, I've already mentioned the controls and such, but that barely scratches the surface. There's a lot of areas where enemies will constantly respawn, encouraging you to move on, but then you have to figure stuff out, like get the right gadget out to do the tin, while enemies just keep coming, so you have to get your gun back out, and it's just plain annoying. And it doesn't help that the game doesn't pause right away, causing you to take hits you can't avoid otherwise. And trust me, that's gonna happen a lot. It's also very easy to get lost in some of these levels. A map of some kind would be nice. And it doesn't help when they add so much fog so now I can't see anything. Screw this level, screw this level, screw this level, and this one especially. You had to destroy these turrets and they shoot you before you can see them. Well, that and the brightness, but this was the best I can do. I looked it up online, it's not much better. There were so many times when I just didn't know where the heck I was going. And don't get me started on accidentally finding the exit before you finish all the missions, and I have to start all over again! How the heck was I supposed to know not to go in there? And I'm not exaggerating when I say most of these levels took me an hour and a half. I did beat the game at the easiest difficulty, but man, I feel so drained. And there are 2 secret levels too, Aztec and Egyptian. To unlock them, you need to beat the game on a higher difficulty, which adds more missions for you to do. Yeah, no thanks, I'm good. I'm not cut out for this crap. The Aztecs can go screw off! And for lack of a better transition, the cheats are pretty cool. You can unlock them by being good at the game, or cheat codes. You can make everyone have a big head, you be tiny, be fast, everyone else slowing down, paintballs, all weapons, infinite health and ammo, and my personal favorite, line mode. This isn't very helpful in the slightest, but look at it! Oh, I'm gonna stab you. I'm gonna stab you. Get back here. Oh no. Yeah, wait. I'm gonna stab you. Oh, you won't run me. I'm gonna stab you in the legs. I like that. Maybe James Bond with a knife. You got no crap on me now. You can also unlock levels early, including the Aztec level. Well, guess I've got to play that one. And it's too damn hard. Yep, no. Egypt can go screw off! Even one drains your health in a matter of seconds. I mean, sure, you're supposed to unlock this one after beating every other level at a higher difficulty, but I just can't make it any further. And that just leaves us with one more thing to talk about. The multiplayer mode. I have a feeling that whenever someone praised this game, they're mainly talking about the multiplayer. It was actually a last minute addition to the game. Could you imagine that? Well, you and 1 to 3 others just shoot each other in various modes. That's about it, but it's actually kinda fun, even if we're not too good at the game. And you can even use cheats here. And apparently this game is cursed. And that's Goldeneye 007. What do I think of it? Well, I can appreciate it for what it was at the time on the console it was on. But honestly, it's a bit too difficult for me to play again. For those who are experts in FPS genres, you'll probably have no issue with this one. But if you're not too good at these kind of games, you'll at least have some laughs in the multiplayer mode. Recently, however, the game has finally been re-released for the Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. But it's not very convenient to get. For the Switch, you need to get the Online Plus expansion pass, and for Xbox, you can either get it through Game Pass or Rare Replay. Digitally only, if you have the physical copy, it won't work. Thanks. It's not too impressive, it looks a little cleaner, runs better, and the Switch has online play. Not the Xbox, just the Switch, what the heck. And the controls are slightly better, but it's not too great. At least the Xbox One, I have not tested out the Switch. I'd say get the Rare Replay one, since that by itself is already a pretty good collection, but man, I don't want to buy it again. So yeah, I don't like it that much. Sorry guys. If you accept my apology, please subscribe. I didn't like GoldenEye 007 that much. I mean, it was amazing for the time and the multiplayer sure is fun, but I just plain suck at the game. For what I hear, however, Perfect Dark is the spiritual successor to GoldenEye and improves upon it in many ways. That and we're in the year 2023, and this game was set in the year 2023 from the year 2000. This was pretty much why I wanted to do this series and GoldenEye. After Rareware released their GoldenEye game to the world, they surely went to work on another game based on the next James Bond film, Tomorrow Never Dies. Unfortunately, they lost the rights to the series due to being outbidded by EA. Man, I can never be happy. Fortunately, that didn't stop Rare. They decided to take the work they already had and turn it into its own thing, by combining it with aliens. Woo! The game was revealed at E3 1998 with the promise of releasing next year. And in 1999 it was shown off again, but now with some dancing! I don't know much about dancing, but what the heck am I even looking at? And so, the game finally released for the N64 in 2000. The future! Well, before we play the game, we're gonna need to get the expansion pack, which doubles the N64's RAM. Without it, you'd only be able to play the multiplayer mode with just 2 players. It does kinda suck for those who don't own one, but I suppose it's better than not being able to play it at all, like Donkey Kong 64 and Zelda Majora's Mask. Huh. Neat. There's a little special intro for when you have the expansion pack. Well, it looks nice. How long does this intro last? Oh, you're supposed to push a button. Don't judge me. The game starts with you as Joanna Dark, codenamed Perfect Dark, an agent for the Carrington Institute, which the company does. The Institute receives a distress call from someone named Dr. Carroll, who is trapped at the Datadyne company and is going to have his mind manipulated by them. Datadyne being the rival company of the Institute that makes weapons or something. Seriously, what do they do again? So Joanna must infiltrate Datadyne and get to him. After that, the plot is really a bunch of missions. There is a story tying it all together, and Datadyne is usually the enemy of the missions, but the story is not the big focus of the game. I think, at least. Although you do come across an alien along the way. I know the aliens bit was front and center during E3, but I had no idea that I would be dealing with this when I first played the game. Oh, and the alien is named Elvis. Thank you very much. The gameplay is extremely similar to Goldeneye. Shooting people with guns, you have a list of missions to complete, gadgets to help you out, even the options to use 2 controllers at once. However, a lot has been gracefully improved upon. The controls feels a lot better. Don't get me wrong, the control itself still isn't the greatest, but I think they did a better job with it. You can hold a button to bring up all of your weapons and gadgets, you have an aiming reticle at all times, the sniper works a lot better in my opinion, you can disarm your opponents with just your fists, which is really cool, enemies will yell stuff when they see you so you know when to prepare yourself, and the pause menu isn't an issue like in Goldeneye! Yes! The game runs a lot better than Goldeneye, though that could probably be thanks to the expansion pack. Still lucky at times though, the stealth is handled a bit better than Goldeneye. Oh yeah, there was stealth in that game, but it wasn't super obvious to me. Mostly because it wasn't easy to do. With Perfect Dark, you have disguises to bypass others without conflict, though sometimes it might not work out. Not sure what I'm doing wrong at times. I didn't have my weapons out, and in some missions on the easy difficulty, if you let the guards sound the alarm, you fail the mission. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still think they could have done and encouraged stealth a lot better, but it's a good improvement. There's also a hub world with a bunch of training to do, which is always a good idea. You can learn how to use the guns and gadgets, get used to the controls, and how to defend yourself without a gun. The last training mission is hard though. How the heck is a beginner supposed to defeat 3 guys with guns, all without taking a single hit? Using stealth doesn't work, they know where I am. Like the government. Oh yeah, for the kids watching this video, don't worry about the 18's age rating. It's mostly the blood. Man, times have changed. This was disgusting. And then 20 years later, parents let their children watch YouTube Kids. If you know, you know. Okay, the blood and mild cursing if you're gonna comment. Well, great in a lot of ways, it's still not perfect. The main reason that is just because sometimes I didn't know what to do. Call me dumb if you want, but I'll give you an example. In this mission, I'm rescuing Elvis the alien from Area 51. I put on a disguise, entered this area, and I was eventually caught. for some reason, explain what I'm doing wrong with the disguises. At least I'm able to finish the game. Anyway, there wasn't much I can do in that room, so I left and explored every other room. Killing the guards, hacking the computers. I even located Elvis, or at the very least, another alien. So I'm just running around like a chicken with no head until I went back into the first room and it told me I've accessed said room. There's more guards and Elvis is here. What did I do different? There are other times when I got stuck, but it was mostly just because I wasn't smart enough to know what this was. Another thing that is a bit annoying is that some details aren't really told to you unless you look through your mission logs and such. Now, in some cases, it's kinda cool looking through lore and such, but then there's crap like this. Spoiler warning just in case. After rescuing the President of the United States of American apples, Joanna and Elvis dives into the ocean and boards an alien spaceship. Afterwards, we blow it up. Why? What's the point of doing that? None of the cutscenes explains it. If you read into the missions, it apparently has a dangerous weapon that can wipe out any planet. And this other alien race, which can transform into humans and can disappear, and are working with Datadyne, plans to test it out on Earth before firing it at Elvis' home planet. So, yeah, pretty important detail I was lucky enough to bother reading into. One more minor nitpick. There are these hover bikes. I tried riding them, but I just picked them up instead. I later found out online that you can ride them, but I swear I pressed every other button I could think of. Why can't you even pick it up like this? So, the ending. After blowing up the weapon I mentioned, and all is well, the leader of that other alien race is mad and kidnaps you and the CEO of Datadyne. You take control of the ship. Elvis found this planet that the alien race finds holy, and destroying the building will bring an end to this war between the two, yada yada yada, kill the leader. This final level is pretty damn hard, and I'm not just talking about the taking 1 or 2 hits from a freaking rocket launcher and dead. This was yet another what the heck do I do moment. I'm supposed to blow up a wall, but I used my scanner and I went up to every goddamn wall. I couldn't find nothing. So I gave up and looked up the answer. You see this? There's a ladder. It was hidden from my point of view. And then the final boss. Joanna said that I need to cut off the head. I aimed for the head, no luck. I went for the rest of him, no luck. Once again, I looked it up online. I needed to aim here, but only when enough damage to his shield was dealt. Sure, go ahead, laugh. But she told me to go for the head. That's not a head. Also, when I did try to go for it at first, I didn't see any signs of progress, so I assumed it wasn't the answer. But whatever, he's dead, all's good, credits. However, there are extra missions for you to unlock. As you can see, I only got one because, well, the hard mode is hard. But I do like this, especially one where you get to play as a bad guy. More games should have side stuff like this. I want a Mario game where you get to play from Bowser's point of view. Unfortunately, due to Retro's review plus reasons, all of the Mario games are gone. The game looks really impressive, especially the lighting on here. Rare really pushed the limits of the Nintendo 64. There's widescreen again, and also a higher quality mode. I honestly don't recommend it. The only difference I saw was the text and HUD being smaller, and the game is laggier than it already was. The music is just alright. I could detect traces of Goldeneye feeling in the air, but it does the job. And as you can already tell, this game has voice acting. Goldeneye didn't have voice acting, this one does. It's alright. The flying computer reminds me of Rita from Portal 2.
You actually know what you're doing.
And for all of the extra stuff I just want to talk about, the cheats are back. Now most of them you have to unlock them through the game itself. Though you can unlock a few of them early if you have the Game Boy Color version of Perfect Dark. I obviously didn't unlock them all, but they're cool. You can have Total Darkness, or Perfect Darkness, the slow motion, and your enemies can have bazookas! Now that's freaking hard mode! And the multiplayer returns. Play up to 4 players or 8 computer players. Neat. Other than that, it's pretty much the same as Goldeneye, but with better controls. And you can even mix and match bodies with heads, which is cool like it. No, I can't. But that's not all. There's a co-op mode for the main missions. You and a friend can help each other beat the game on the Nintendo 64. And there's what I like to call an anti-co-op mode. I repeat, anti-co-op mode. Player 1 controls Joanna, while Player 2 is a randomly selected enemy, and you have to stop Player 1 before they complete the missions. Rare was ahead of the time! And that's Perfect Dark. What do I think of it? Well, it's not one game I'm gonna go back to very often, don't get me wrong, but it's a huge improvement over Goldeneye, and quite possibly the best FPS on the Nintendo 64. And once again, way ahead of its time. If you have friends, it's one of those games you guys will have loads of fun together. As for the single player, well, it's worth a shot. You'll probably be better than I ever could. However, you should get the Xbox 360 or Rare Replay version. There's no lag, the controls are way better, the models and textures got a whole new look, and it has online play. Though they did remove that little special intro. Me sad. This remake was done by 4J Studios. If you recognize that logo, they're responsible for bringing the Banjo-Kazooie games to Xbox, as well as every single console port of Minecraft. In fact, similar to Spyro Reignited Trilogy, the whole game's engine and code and stuff were built from the ground up. Wow. So yeah, give this game a try, especially with friends. Also, any of you viewers watch Perfect Kirby back on Newgrounds?
Pikmin 4 is real!
Ah! Who's there? Oh. Dude, I'm sorry I picked the Goldeneye review over Pikmin 3, but I thought we'd agreed to do this next January. I haven't even finished the Perfect Dark series.
Pikmin 4 is real and is coming out in less than 2 months.
There's no way. Show me. And nice legs. Where did you get them?
Well, I was in the ground for so long, they just grew in September. Perfect timing for that.
I'd assume you'd be able to fly or something. Anyway, show me this announcement. Well, since we finally got some sort of a reveal for Pikmin 4, I think it's a good time to finish up with the rest of the games. Which means yes, the Perfect Dark series will be put on hold until then. Sorry guys, go touch some grass. Even though Pikmin 1 and 2 were considered classic titles, they didn't sell well. Even with a Pikmin title being titled for the DS and 3DS, there wasn't much push for Nintendo to greenlit the next game. That is, until the Wii U and its HD graphics. Which could have happened earlier if the Wii had them. Just saying. And so, in 2013, we finally got Pikmin 3. I don't really have much of a history with this game. Yes, I was aware of it and the franchise, but I suppose I really wanted to try the other two games first before this one. Then I got it later. Please tell me you have a more interesting history, Pikmin Legs.
My history with Pikmin 3 was an exciting one. Back when the 3DS eShop was around, I saw the trailer during Nintendo's E3 2012. I was hyped beyond belief, and come Christmas 2013, I got the Wii U and Pikmin 3.
So, after 9 long years of no new Pikmin games, besides the Wii ports, is this third entry any good? Assuming you didn't check the end of the video for the answer, let's find out together.
The story begins on a planet named Kopai, where, due to overpopulation, the food supply is running low. After sending sparrows out to look for food, one planet has a bountiful supply, and so 3 explorers are sent out to retrieve the food. However, in Pikmin tradition, something always goes wrong. The ship starts malfunctioning, and the crew is ejected from the ship, and they all land on the planet PNF 404.
404? Like, Pikmin 404? Pikmin. We're home.
After the cutscene, we first meet up with the captain of the group, Charlie, who lands up in a tundra. We get taught about the camera, and then he sees some yellow Pikmin. After some time in the cave, Charlie is attacked by an unseen creature and is never heard from again. Next, we meet the engineer of the group, Alf, and here is where we meet the red Pikmin. After getting taught how to lock onto objects, we free a newly designed onion. From here, enter typical Pikmin gameplay. Ring stuff the onion, build bridges, and pushing cardboard boxes. Here we are introduced to a brand new mechanic, charging. Gone is the swarming and replaced with charging, which I think is a welcome change. After breaking down a dirt wall, Alf finds the ship and gets in touch with the botanist of the group, Brittany, but sadly, they're cut short and set off to find her tomorrow.
I do wish we knew what happened with the ship, but whatever. Story's pretty good, and it's a nice idea to start the game with no Olimar. Anyway, the gameplay is like the other two Pikmin games. Throw Pikmin to attack enemies and collect tins, 15 minutes before the day is up. You probably know by now. I suppose the first big differences we should talk about are the controls. Thankfully, you can still use the Wii Remote on Nunchuk, which is how I played the game. But you can also play with the Pro Controller and the Wii U gamepad. The first time I played this game, I used the gamepad. And I don't know how or why I beat the game like that. Well, you do get a map on there, which is pretty handy. You can look all around and use the TV for a higher quality view. Is the world all really rendered all at once? I probably have PS1 Spyro on my mind right now. And later, you can even use the Go Here function to make a captain automatically go somewhere, while you switch to another and do something else. This is great for multitasking, but I'm getting ahead of myself. This does mean you have to keep the gamepad with you, even if you're not using it as a controller, but it's no big deal. Oh, and they later added an update to let you throw the Pikmin with the touchscreen. I kinda forgot to try this out. Pikmin, did you try this before?
Well, I did try it out once, but I was so used to the Wii Remote and Nunchuk from 2 that it was my preferred way to play.
Huh. The controls themselves are different too. Like 404 said, instead of this little tin where you can move the Pikmin around you, you have this charge attack for when you lock onto tins. Oh yeah, you can lock onto tins. This is a good idea. Makes using a huge amount of Pikmin at once a lot easier, especially when you don't have to worry about your surroundings as much when doing so.
It's 442.
Viewers, comment Pikmin's real name. 442 or 44?
Returning are the usual reds, yellows, and blues. Purple and whites are in the game, but more on that later. Reds have their usual stuff, being resistant to fire and damages enemy more, yellow being thrown higher and resistant to electricity, and thank goodness that electricity can no longer kill Pikmin. Now, when any other Pikmin touches electricity, they'll only be stunned. Blue Pikmin can go into the water, but they won't save any drowning Pikmin unlike in 1 and 2. They can also now swim to enemies when charged at.
Like the last game, we've got two new Pikmin types. First up, there's the Rock Pikmin. Makes me wonder how these guys grow in the dirt. Imagine if I was a little kid at the time and I'd plant rocks in the ground. I'm going nowhere with this. The Rock Pikmin can break glass of all kinds, whether it be a crystal or a glass wall. They also can't be killed by being crushed, which makes certain fights a little less stressful. And they're pretty strong when you throw them onto enemies. The only downside is that they can't really latch onto anything, which you should watch out for with some enemies. And then we've got the Winged Pikmin. They have wings, insert Red Bull joke. They can pull certain pig tennies out of the ground, fly over water, and take shortcuts when breading tins places. They can also get to flying enemies with ease by charging. They are pretty weak, so don't rely on them too often, but they're kinda cool. They, can also drown. I just find that weird.
May I go off a little rant about the winged Pikmin?
Just as long as you don't use my rant mode. It needs a break at this point.
I'll try to make it quick. So, winged Pikmin are broken. I am not joking. They are busted, and I have proof. I can get this fruit easily. Still not convinced? Then look at this. Normally, you need to use ways to throw Pikmin onto that fruit. Nah, just keep charging the wings on it and they'll get it easily. Need more proof? Then look at this. Normally, you would need to walk on this tree, but adjust the camera just right, lock on, and charge the winged Pikmin on that fruit. That's how broken they are! and I love it! Speaking of fruits, let's talk about that. During your adventure, you will find lots of fruit, and those are your main collectibles for 2 reasons. 1, to bring back the Kopai, and 2, to survive. Bringing back a fruit will turn it into juice, which the crew drinks after each day. If you have 0 juices by the end of a day, it's game over.
I really like this approach. You start off with 3 days worth of juice, but you can expand your juices by collecting the fruits. And they're not even required. Well, they are, but... Okay, let me explain. What you normally have to do in the story is just follow whatever signal there is and beat the boss. If you run out of juice, that's game over. But, as long as you just have enough juice, all you really need to do is beat the game. There's about 99 or so juice amount of fruits, but you can beat the game in about 7 days if you're a really skilled speedrunner. A casual player could collect more fruit if they're not too confident, or you can risk it all for the best time. What I'm trying to say is that I think it's a good balance between Pikmin 1's day limits and Pikmin 2's take it at your own pace. Back to how the game plays, because I forgot to bring them up earlier. Oops. The Pikmin AI is even better than before. They follow you in straight lines with little to no detours, and when you leave them to pick up pieces to build a bridge or bring grapes back to the ship, they will come back on their own. Same with the spicy berries, which also return. Not the bitter spray, but I can see why. Sort of. Honestly, I didn't use it all that much.
I'm honestly glad that the Pikmin will go back to the plant now, but there are some times where they wouldn't grab the berry. I've come back to check on the Pikmin and they're just standing there while the berries just stay there and then poof away. Anyways, yes, the spray's returned, but now it's just the ultra spicy spray. The ultra bitter spray is gone. Like the last game, gather 10 berries for 1 spray, and they'll make your Pikmin stronger and faster. Also like last game, you can find 1 dose of the spray in eggs. Personally, these sprays are really useful against bosses, and I always at least have 5 Pikmin on a plant, so I'll always have a spray ready. Another thing that was added was throwing captains. Using this, you can cross gaps, get up ledges, split up quickly, or throw a captain head and start plucking Pikmin. It's really useful for covering ground, or if you need someone to keep an eye on Pikmin doing tasks.
Yeah, once again, great for multitasking. Not perfect, but it's a better upgrade than Pikmin 2. There's also these notes scattered around the planet. They're usually tutorials or hints, which is a plus for newbies. But there's also Olimar's notes about what he did while on the planet. Keep in mind that I'm not talking about the events of the first 2 games. He's back again because his company has gone into debt again. Are you kidding me? And he still does not have his old ship back yet! You guys are rich! What the heck happened?
I bet Louis caused it again.
What did he do this time? Did he eat all of the treasures? But anyway, this is some nice lore and such throughout the journey. And the end of the day logs are back. I don't really find him as good as Alma's, but the captain has a duck. Where was I going with this?
I honestly don't know, but let's talk about bosses, shall we? Bosses returned, but now it's for story progression, and these bosses uses the Pikmin abilities pretty well. We have the Armored Maudad, whose armor is made of crystal, in which you use rock Pikmin to break it. You could take the time to break all the crystals, or you can break the tail and charge a ton of Pikmin on it for a quick defeat. Next, we have the Behemoth Fozbat, who flies around the cave and hides in the dark. Yellow Pikmin are used here to light up the cave, and after his defeat, we find Captain Charlie, who got eaten by the creature. Oh yeah, I kinda forgot about him a bit. Then we have the sand-belching Mirror Slug. This beast will dig around the arena and try to trap your Pikmin in quicksand and eat them. While there is no Pikmin to utilize, you do use Bomb Rucks to deal massive damage to this slug. Next, we got the Scornet Maestro. This winged fella uses the little Scornets to attack you and your Pikmin. Using winged Pikmin, you can easily take this thing out and rescue any Pikmin that got caught during the attack. After that boss and rescuing an Explorer, the crew wakes up and find themselves back in the Garden of Hope, with this person running off with all the juice you had up to this point. Oh, and Charlie's duck.
Oh, and that person's Louis. He stole all of our juice. I hate him, I hate him, I hate him. I swear to God, if he shows his face in Pikmin 4 and blows up the company, so now they have to get more stupid money! Anyway, the bosses are pretty cool. We do have the classic bosses here and there, holding some fruits, still being treated as regular enemies. Not sure if I like it this way, or Pikmin 1. I still hate Louie. You can't play with both the TV and the gamepad if you want to record while only using the gamepad. There's only one save file, and the dog outside my house won't stop barking! I quit.
Then we have what could possibly be the biggest boss, the Quaggled Meyerclops. This beast will stomp around creating puddles of water in which you use blue Pikmin, but using wings and sprays gets the job done. There is one more boss, but I'ma hold off till the end of the game. If there's one thing I'm glad that Pikmin 3 has, is that any damage you deal to the boss will be retained the next day.
For a Wii U game, the graphics are really good looking. Everything is beautiful. The Pikmin are now more adorable. The water graphics, this game's got good water graphics. I even like the little changes, like when it's raining. I also find the Bulborbs really cute. And the fruits, look at them! It's so good that the juice makes the game lag! Sorry, this is bothering me. Why does the onion look different? I mean, it looks a little better, and the fact that they can combine together makes it all easier. But now this is getting weird. Are they just two different types of onions? Did they evolve? Also, I'm sorry, but I don't find the locations as memorable as the other games. Pikmin 3's places just kinda blends together a little, with the exception of the snow and autumn looking place. They look good, don't get me wrong, but I think Pikmin 1 and 2 stood out a little more.
I agree with the graphics. That crisp HD makes the world look more natural and real. Even some of the creatures look amazing, like the shaggy long legs. You can see each strand of hair on its body. As for the locations, they're okay. I just wish we got to see more of PNF 404. As for the onions, the way they did it is a huge welcome. Now you can just select what Pikmin you need in all in one go without having to waste time.
As for the side stuff to do, there's the mission mode and battle mode, both pretty similar to Pikmin 2. Mission mode has you collect treasure once again, but with no undergrounds. Thank God. And there's no extra cutscenes to unlock from collecting everything while not losing a single Pikmin. Thank God! I'm still recovering, leave me alone. It's alright, I think it's a bit better than 2. The mission modes also have you defeat enemies, as well as a boss battle mode with preset Pikmin. And they all have, well, had DLC, which is, nice I suppose. It's also the only time where you play as Captain Olimar and Louie, as well as using the purple and white Pikmin. I would question why they weren't in the main adventures, similar to Tails and SA2, but I can see why. It's also the only time where you could do co-op, which is very nice. As for the battle mode, it's pretty fun. I only played a little bit of battle mode in the second game, so I don't really know how it compares, but it's still fun. Why do you have to unlock levels here?
May I see how badly purple and white Pikmin were treated in these modes? So, do you remember how overpowered the purples were in 2, Retro?
Yeah, they kinda were. The rock Pikmin are like half that, actually.
Well, in 3, they removed the purple's ability to stun enemies and home in on them a bit. The only thing they kept was their main ability to carry 10 times their weight. Got even worse for the whites. There's no poison geysers, even though there is data for it, and after doing some research, their poison attack after being eaten is weaker. They don't even dig fast. That was given to the yellow Pikmin.
Huh. Point taken. So, you've recaptured Louie, got enough fruits to last however long you need. Time for the ending. Turns out that Olimar has been captured by this gold monster blob, who has taken a real shine to him. So after a really quick defeat, you've got to bring Olimar back to the ship. But it turns out that the blob is pretty much invincible. So you've got to stay ahead of it while clearing a path for yourself. Which isn't easy when something's slowly chasing you. And after all that, you fight it. It's got all the abilities you've got to counter with the right Pikmin type. Pretty much like the Pikmin 2 final boss. Except the electricity is not an instant kill. After all that fighting, he finally leaves Olimar alone, we get the key back, and it's back to our whole plans where we get to see the credits. And a little sneak peek of Pikmin 4, it's Pikmin 3 Deluxe, but we'll get to that.
Just like in Pikmin 1, there are different endings you can get depending on how many fruits you get. On my playthrough, I got all 66 fruits. The narrator tells us how the Copites will use the seeds to start a new food supply under the crew's guidance, and asks what caused the SS Drakes to malfunction. What about you, Retro?
66 fruits. I may be slow when it came to Perfect Dark and Goldeneye, but I know my way around the Pikmin garden. I beat Pikmin 2. I should earn a gold medal. Do you have any 7-Up? I need a moment. And that was Pikmin 3! I'm fine now, by the way. Thanks for asking. What do you think of it? It's pretty good. The whole game looks better, plays better. It plays better. Honestly, again, it's a really good balance between Pikmin 1 and 2. If you were to start with any of the trilogy, start with this one. I know I don't have much to add, but it really is good and worth a shot.
I really enjoyed 3 back on the Wii U. It brought back the memories to when I first started playing Pikmin 1. The gamepad was fun to use, planning out each day, and overall, I'm glad I got the chance to play it back in 2013. After Pikmin 3 came out, there were some updates that got added like Retro mentioned, and DLC was added too. But if you wanted to get the DLC, it isn't possible anymore. However, in 2020, the game got a release on Switch with all the DLC. The Switch version is the one I played before this review, and there were some stuff that was added. Standing by the Drake will call all the Pikmin back to base. There's a difficulty setting like easy, normal, and ultra spicy mode. This mode is tough, but still beatable. You can only play this mode by either beating the game or beating the demo to get it early. This mode gives you less time on the planet, less juice from fruit, and the maximum Pikmin you can have is 60. So, if you're up for a challenge, then go for it. There's also a new mode called Side Stories. There, you get to see what Olimar and Louie were doing before and after the main story.
Forget what I said earlier. Get this version. The graphics are about the same, not gonna lie. The controls are a little bit better, minus the whole recentering the Joy-Cons every few seconds. Again, the new features like calling all of the Pikmin back, which I could have used at times. You can charge one Pikmin type at a time, which helps out a lot more than you may think. You can see some stuff a lot better actually, since you're not restricted to a Wii U gamepad. And there's even 2-player co-op mode for the story mode. Now this is the best way to play Pikmin, assuming the person you are playing with knows how to play the game. You see that? You over here, you're supposed to go here.
Okay. So,
See?
that way. You see?
No, not the other way.
The other way?
Okay, you see where? Okay, see where my icon is. Even though what it's. Okay, there's a.
Not to the
No,
right.
not the
Not
bridge.
that
Not
way.
not bridge. Stop at the bridge. That way.
Wait. Okay.
I do think the difficulty is a little too easy. There was a bigger difficulty jump with the bosses on the Wii U, but now they're painfully easy. Keep in mind, I've only played the normal mode's difficulty. Okay, updates. I just found out that the normal mode is the easy mode, and the hard mode is the original mode. So, ignore what I said about this game being easy. I'm a dum-dum. The Olimar side story is a little underwhelming, not gonna lie. It's pretty much an easier version of Mission Mode, but it's cool. It plays through the events of Pikmin 3 as Olimar and Louie collecting treasure up until the end of the game. There's also a second part showing the events after Pikmin 3. The boss sends him back to collect pieces of the company's ship. Olimar should really find work somewhere else. He misses his family, he's been sentenced to die so many times, he barely gets any holidays. He's not even good pilot! Anyway, with this one, you have to collect Pikmin, defeat enemies, collect treasure, dude! And bring some of the pieces back, which is very nostalgic, especially with the second last mission having a music remix of the final trial. I do wish the whole thing was done a bit better. You know, no day limits, but the faster you do it all, the more points you get. Make it a little more different at least. I do like this point where Olimar and Louie supposedly had a fight, and they both make up. Aww, I still hate him though. Anyway, get this one. So, what now? Pikmin 4's coming out in July.
Wanna get some pizza? I know a place.
Ooh, sounds good. I'll bring my 3DS.
Ooh, maybe we could play some Hey Pikmin while we're at it.
No. No! You can't! It doesn't even have multiplayer! So, before we get to Pikmin 4, we're gonna have to do Hey Pikmin, right?
Yep, that's the next one, and this one is different from the others.
Well, I suppose I could give it a try. And honestly, I need to do more DS reviews. Where's my cheese pizza? It's been 3 weeks!
Apparently, the owner had some important business to take care of.
Now, you'll have to eat pepperoni pizza. Because I know that because he doesn't like pepperoni because he explicitly said that once.
Did someone say pepperoni? I love pepperoni!
Pikmin 1 and 2 didn't sell all that well. Pikmin 3, on the other hand, did even worse. So here we were, waiting another long time for Pikmin 4. Until the April 2017 Nintendo Direct, where we got the announcement of Pikmin as a 2D side-scroller for the 3DS. Yeah, this definitely didn't feel like the best time to make a game like this. It especially didn't help that the Shigeru Miyamoto guy kept on saying, the next game is coming, it's almost done, here it is! Remember, we got Metroid Prime Federation Force the previous year. It wasn't a great feeling to be had with Nintendo. I always thought this was a very odd choice, even if it was gonna be fine. Just... why?
Some people like me were waiting for the day Pikmin 4 to be announced, and instead, we get a Pikmin game on 3DS. Now, I honestly didn't mind that. A portable Pikmin game sounded fun. Before Pikmin 3 Deluxe on Switch, this was the only portable Pikmin game we had and just went with it. Also for the first time, this game was developed by another studio, Artist. This is a company I'm familiar with as they made some games that I love like Yoshi's New Island, this game, and Balan Wonderworld. Yes, I love Balan Wonderworld. Fight me!
And so, this released later that year. Well, let's see if it's good or bad.
The story begins with Captain Olimar flying through space in not the SS Dolphin, but a new ship called the SS Dolphin 2.
Wait, the SS Dolphin 2?
What was wrong with your old car?
After coming out of hyperspace, he finds himself surrounded by asteroids and tries his best to avoid them. But this is a Pikmin game, which means Olimar crashed his ship again. After waking up, the ship informs him that it's alright, but is out of fuel. However, the ship does inform him on some good news. It found some sparklium which can refuel the ship. With the help of the Pikmin, his goal now is to refuel the ship and be on his way home.
So, it's pretty much Pikmin 1 again. Olimar crashed, get back home. I still have difficulty catching the concept of sparklium and how it's used for fuel. You can find said sparklium in these shiny seeds or the treasures. Just plain old regular treasures. Oh, might as well help him out. Here, take this.
What are we doing with this?
It's fuel, we're going to the moon.
What the is we're doing the bloody Neptune?
So, unlike the other Pikmin games, you move in the 2D view. Your main goal is to get to the, well, goal while collecting any seeds or treasures you may find. No time limit, no open world, nothing. Not even the onion. To get more Pikmin, you just have to find them hiding about. And get this, you can only carry 20 at a time. I suppose it makes sense given the gameplay they were going for, but it still feels weird. And when you lose any, that's pretty much it. Either hope you can find some more, or get screwed, which means you'll have to be extra careful about your Pikmin squad. Similar to the Pikmin DS concept, you can use the touchscreen to throw your Pikmin. You can also hover for a short time to reach certain places. Why is this the only time Olimar has done this? And, well, I suppose that really is it when it comes to summarizing the game. Without digging into this game, there's not too much to talk about. Of course, the Pikmin types from Pikmin 3 return. The red, yellow, blue, rock, and winged. No purple or white, even though the onion there clearly shows their colors. They do pretty much the same things. The only things worth mentioning are Olimar swimming with the blue Pikmin and the winged Pikmin now letting you float if you ever fall. Oh, and there's also these little cutscenes. These are the best parts of the whole game. Can't beat Pikmin cuteness.
The biggest addition is the amiibos. The only thing they do is unlock a short puzzle level where you try to collect it. Honestly, this is a smart idea with this. Olimar even gives them descriptions, and you can even scan the Smash Bros. Olimar figure. Speaking of amiibos, they even made one just for this game. By pausing the game during the level, you can scan the amiibo to call in extra Pikmin.
Not gonna lie, this is a pretty good use for amiibos. Just seeing them out and about like treasures. I do wish they were randomly placed in a level rather than just their own easy little challenges, but it's fun enough. I only had this Olimar amiibo, so I didn't have much use. There's also this Pikmin park, where the Pikmin you've collected stays. You can send them to these areas to search for Sparklium. And that's about it. Let's give us a little pet simulator, like the Pokemon games. Maybe I'm being too greedy right now.
I do agree with you. I wish they would let us get up close with the Pikmin. Basically like how Nintendogs did it. Playing with them, give them nectar, all that. Well, at least we now have something like that in the form of Pikmin Bloom, which I can't play because my phone won't let me!
You're not missing too much. There's not much interaction with that game. Just give them nectar and send them off. Now that we have all that out of the way, I don't really like this game all too much. I have two very big issues. The first one is the attacking. It's not very easy to hit your enemies, and they're right there! It's no big deal, just try again. Well, I misfire, and Pikmin runs back to me, but because they run past the bread bugs and just touches the front of them, they die! The same goes for most of the enemies. It doesn't matter if it doesn't look like they're eating them. If they go anywhere near the face, dead! So you better aim right, or they're dead. Again, only 20 Pikmin. And it doesn't help that the majority of the enemies are really small, meaning you're bound to miss them a few times. And it really doesn't help when you're moving about. And even when the enemies are large, it's hard enough for them to just latch onto them or bounce on top. So better hope you aim correctly or you're losing a lot of Pikmin. And it really doesn't help that some of the treasures require a load of Pikmin. If it wasn't for my Olimar amiibo, I would have completely lost it. And the second issue is that it's hard to keep your Pikmin pack safe. It's not like Pikmin 1 or 2 where you could just move them out of the way. If there's something about to crush you and you have a large group of Pikmin, you have to be really careful because there's not much room! These two issues really held the game back, from the start to the very end. And then it gets worse for Sector 9. There's a load of poison. Now normally when Olimar falls off a cliff, he just loses her health points and respawns back on the edge. But with the poison, take one step and you're going all the way back to the beginning of the level. No checkpoints, no nothing. Oh, it's not that bad, just watch your step. I'm trying, okay? There's so many moving platforms and I'm trying to just get it over with. At least we've got one pretty decent snow level. You're riding on a buttercup and you just throw your winged Pikmin at whatever moves. Not too bad.
Bosses return again, but now you face them at the end of each area. Most are new creatures while one returns and two are normal creatures from previous Pikmin games. The first boss is a Bulborb, but it looks huge. It's mostly easy to defeat. Just toss a Pikmin at its eye and attack it from it behind. The long water dumple is unique because it takes place entirely in water, so you can freely move around. Just dodge its attacks and throw a Pikmin when you can. The Armuk crawls all around the arena, get it on its back, and throw those rock Pikmin. The electric Continade is high in the sky and will shock you if you're not careful. Avoid getting your Pikmin sucked up and attack when the little ones separate. It's time for some aerial combat with the Queen Shearwig. She'll send her flying troops to take you out, but dodge them and send the winged Pikmin to take her out. Things are heating up with the fiery Blowhog, another regular enemy that's huge. It'll try to burn you, but with some bomb rocks, you'll extinguish the foe. The luring Slugger is thirsty for some Pikmin. It'll suck up some water, but tossing the Pikmin will bring it down to deal some damage to it. An old foe comes back looking for revenge, and it's the Emperor Bulblax. He'll try to gobble out your Pikmin, but using good old bomb rocks will do the trick. After defeating the bosses, you're rewarded with a treasure that has a ton of Sparklium and move on to the next area.
Gotta be honest, I am a bit disappointed. The bosses are way too easy. Some of them I've won without losing a single Pikmin. The patterns are very predictable, and your Pikmin can usually bring their health down by a third. It's the same for each and every single boss. Oh, and the Bobo being a boss. Why is this the only time we see him? Why do we get the bread bugs and those chickens? So, you've gotten enough Sparklium to get home. But wait! The game's not over yet because you're missing a ship piece to let you get home. So you have to beat the rest of the levels. What was the point of all of that? So, the final boss. He's just as easy as the rest of them.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I remember in my first playthrough, I never lost a single Pikmin to that creature. They should have had it where you use every type of Pikmin as a multi-phase boss.
Yeah, like Pikmin 2 and 3. Anyway, he's dead, we get the parts back, time to go home. And that was Hey Pikmin. What do we think of it? Well, I don't really like it all too much. The levels are boring, keeping your Pikmin alive is more difficult than it really should be, and the bosses are way too easy. The only good things about this game are the little cutscenes and the amiibo use. Even Pikmin 2, with all of its really frustrating moments, had a lot more redeemable qualities. Unless you're a really big fan, you should probably skip this one. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I have to agree. At the time, it was nice having a portable Pikmin game, and I enjoyed my time with it. But as time went on, I never really went back and played it, unlike the others. Heck, I didn't even finish my second playthrough in time for this review. Like Retro said, unless you're a huge Pikmin fan, then it's best to skip this unless you want to play every Pikmin game. After Hey Pikmin, there was silence for a little while. We then got Pikmin 3 Deluxe on Switch and Pikmin Bloom on mobile. It wasn't until recently that Nintendo re-released Pikmin 1 and 2 on Switch, so now all 4 Pikmin games are playable on one system. Well, Retro, now that Pikmin 4 is here, I must be on my way.
I'll catch up with you later. I'm gonna wait a little longer till my food gets here.
You know, pepperoni pizza work.
The fudge nuggets did you get me, you son of a...
Alright, Retro, here's your stop.
Thanks.
Do you need me to ride back to your place, Silver?
No thanks, my car's outside. And besides, Retro owes me back my copy of Mario Galaxy.
Wait a minute, Pikmin 442? What are you doing in my house?
Have you not heard? Pikmin 4 is here! Where have you been? I haven't been able to reach you for weeks!
We, took a road trip and got a bit lost.
These bozos tried to go to the moon in a car with the fuel being games.
What? Y'all went to the moon and didn't invite me?
Wait, did you say Pikmin 4 is out now?
Yeah, it's been out for a month.
Oh, I wanna play!
Okay, you two have fun. I'm gonna go now. I'm needed elsewhere.
Yeah, me too. Don't worry that rich corporate jet who needs his jet.
We really need to explain our lore a bit better. Anyway...
What the f*** happened to my car?
So, it's finally here. Performing for you, it's DK! After 10 years since Pikmin 3 on Wii U, Pikmin 4 is finally here!
Keep it together, man!
Sorry, but I've been waiting for this moment and now it's here.
A lot has happened since Pikmin 3 too. There were a load of Pikmin shorts, which is just... Hey Pikmin released. Pikmin 3 got ported to the Switch, which boosted sales for the franchise. Not even Pikmin 1 got half of those sales. Oh yeah, and Pikmin 1 and 2 released on Switch, and I pre-ordered the physical version, so I don't know yet. But it's really funny seeing newbies' reactions to the franchise, and the amount of glitches. Is this new, or have they always been there? And, of course, the countless teasers of a new Pikmin game for 10 frickin' years! Again. Also, Pikmin 3 Deluxe got a new logo. I don't like it. And now that Pikmin 4 is finally here, Let's see if it lives up to this huge hype. The story starts with Captain Olimar, wait for it, crash landing again! Woo! Come on, dude! He then meets the Pikmin, which he meets them for the first time? Oh, he must be talking about the first game. After time pass, he then meets a dog who, after giving her treats to, becomes loyal to Olimar. This is a story reboot, isn't it? Once they got to the last location, the Pikmin ran off for some reason, so you got to call them all back, defeat this enemy, and collect the interstellar radio. Now Olimar can finally send out an SOS signal, and after 1 month has passed, the rescue corps went to the planet to save Olimar. However, they also crashed. Is everyone just bad at driving? So now you, as a rookie, must rescue the rescue corps. And it's here where we get to create our avatar. Mustard's back, baby! Once we arrive, we immediately rescue Ochi, the rescue pup, Colin, the communications operator, and Shepard, the captain. After coming across the ship, the SS Shepard, we learn that it's out of fuel. After encountering the Onion and Pikmin, we then bring the treasures back to the ship to use as fuel since they have sparklium. Why do I need to remember this game exists? After that, all we had to do is save the rest of the rescue corps, then Olimar. Simple, right? Well, after playing through the game, you soon learn that there are more castaways on this planet. You see, when the SOS signal was sent out, Olimar also attached his voyage log with it. So now many different people came to this planet for various reasons, and they are all stranded. And seriously, can nobody pilot a spaceship? So, save the rescue corps, and Olimar, and everyone else, and collect a load of treasure to continue on to the next area. I need a break.
So the game controls smoothly and you now can move the camera in any direction. While Pikmin 3 had something like that, this one, you have a free camera to get up close for the creatures or move it far away for a bird's eye view of the area. As for the cursor, you can still lock onto stuff, but now it's automatic. I don't mind it, but it can get annoying during the later part of the game. Now, for the motion controls, I don't think it's in this game. I used the wired Pro Controller when I played it.
Guess that's where I come in, since I prefer Joy-Cons, despite the really annoying drift issues. I got these controllers in the Mario Odyssey bundle! Why do they have to not work? But anyway, there is no motion controls. Just when I feel like I won't be using this for a while.
Rant mode activate.
Okay, granted, there is some motion controls. When you're holding down the button or repeatedly pressing it, you can aim a little bit more using the motion controls, similar to Pikmin 3 when you're locked onto something. And I'm sure it has its audience. But why did you get rid of it? They were perfect without motion controls! I guess if censoring it in the Deluxe was annoying, but still, give me an option! I know I played 1 and 2 and 3 back then with the GameCube controls, but they were a huge pain. Sure, I got used to it eventually, but using the motion controls was a dream to use. So why take that dream away? I don't care which you thought was better. At the very least, give me an option. And, Is the motion controls the same for Pikmin 1 and 2 on the Switch? I still don't have the game yet.
I only have Pikmin 1 and they give you an option to use motion, and the motion is only for throwing and whistling. Otherwise, it's basically like how it controlled on GameCube.
Okay, yeah, Nintendo! What? Okay, spoiler warnings. Ready? Here we go. And it doesn't help that we get to this part at the end of the game where you had to kill all the enemies at that time limit with 5 purple Pikmin. And the auto lock is nice, but it would be so much easier if I had the damn motion controls. What the heck is wrong with you? You should give me a motorbike. You're driving me insane! Ah!
Yeah, I will admit, I do wish the auto lock-on was optional so you wouldn't be fighting with the cursor. I just hope there will be an update that fixes this issue. Now, if you thought Pikmin 3's areas were huge, Pikmin 4's areas are bigger. These areas are massive and they look so beautiful. And if you're worried about the base, no need to worry because as you explore, you'll find little pink stones. These stones indicate a base, and once you activate it, you can move the ship and Onion. However, sometimes you'll have to fight a creature to unlock the base. Thankfully though, you can move the base anytime without limits and it'll bring the Pikmin and Ochi if they're by the base. Speaking of areas, let's talk about them. The first stop is the Sun-Speckled Terrace, where you're taught a bit more about Ochi and first discover caves. They return, but now the layout isn't randomized like in 2, which I appreciate, and these are the only places to encounter wild Pikmin. Next is the Blossoming Arcadia. If you look in the distance, you can see what looks like a house and an elephant slide. May I just say how beautiful this place looks? The petals falling, sprinklers, and I can't take it! Next is the Serene Shores. Lots of water to swim, a giant sandcastle to climb, a cave that I question why did they bring it back, and it's the only area to be affected by time passing. Halfway through the day, the tide of the water will go down, making exploration much easier. We go inside a house in Hero's Hideaway and my goodness, this is a cool house. Getting to explore it has always been a dream of mine in a Pikmin game, and now it actually happened. Next, we have the Giant's Hearth, and it looks like a backyard with a barbecue pit, which does make the food look good. Finally, we have the Primordial Thicket. This muddy area is covered with mushrooms, so make sure to get rid of them, especially around one base.
Yeah, these areas are big and beautiful. My personal favorite is the house. You mad lads, you finally did it. She gave me a motorbike? You're a genius. Before, we had hints of Earth, more so after Pikmin 1. But now we get to see them in an actual house. And outside the lack of proper motion controls, if you have to play with them, this is probably a really good way to play. It automatically, auto-locks for you. And like I said before, you can use the motion controls a little bit. Joining you on your journey is Ochi the Rescue Pup. This guy is pretty much one giant Pikmin. You can send him to bite enemies and do other tasks the other Pikmin can do. You can make him charge into things. He also has more strength than a typical Pikmin. And later on, you and your Pikmin can ride on top of him, and he can even swim, which is pretty nice. I like how if you decide to jump off of him while surrounded by water, the Pikmin will stay put. Oh, and before I forget, the Pikmin AI is even better than Pikmin 3. Now when you touch the Pikmin to bring them back to your group, more will join in too if they're near enough, which is amazing. Speaking of which, all of the Pikmin types you know and love are here. Red, yellow, blue, purple, white, rock and winged. All finally in the main story together. Except no Bowman, they don't exist anymore. Besides the red Pikmin, this time you find them in the underground caves first, but then you can find their onions later on in the game and grow them from there, which is an interesting way of doing it. Actually, since we're on that topic, when you first play the game, you're only able to have 20 Pikmin at a time in an area, but you can also find these onions that look like they have their life sucked out of them, and you can upgrade the onion to let you bring out 10 more Pikmin. Again, this is an interesting way of doing it, since in the older games, you did reach 100 Pikmin very quickly. Though, I was hoping that we'd get to a point where we get to have over 100. Unfortunately, you can't. Oh well. Anyway, the Pikmin act like how you expect. The purple and white are downgrades, but I don't think it's as bad as Pikmin 3. Purple Pikmin are still strong, but not as strong as Pikmin 2. They can still create shockwaves, but I don't think they stun the bigger enemies. Unless I'm wrong. The white Pikmin are still resistant to poison, and I think they're faster? And I think if the enemies eat them, they get hurt? There was a lot going on, okay? And we've got a newcomer to Pikmin 4, the Ice Pikmin. They can't be frozen because, they're already frozen, and they can freeze enemies and bodies of water with enough Ice Pikmin. They also look like two rock Pikmin stuck together. I love it. I really like how when you destroy a frozen enemy, you can't bring their corpse back to the onion, but you get nectar or an ultra spicy spray. So if you feel like you have enough Pikmin, use the Ice Pikmin. But if you're desperate for more, probably best not to use them as much.
I like the Ice Pikmin. They're almost like the Bitter Spray from 2, and freezing the water makes for some good puzzles. Ochi is a welcome addition. He's basically a horse, and it's even better that the Pikmin can cling onto him and can be useful to get away from enemies. Plus, his jumping brings a little bit of platforming. I swear, what is it with Nintendo and creating cute dog companions? While exploring, you'll come across caves, and unlike Pikmin 2, the layout is not randomized, and like Retro said, come across some wild Pikmin. They really improved these caves, like you need to exit a cave early, you can select what floor you can start on, and some cave exits lead you to another part of the map. Just like in 2, you'll come across lots of treasure and most importantly, castaways. You'll either find one at the end of the cave or multiple on some floors.
When I first heard that the caves were returning, I was really scared. The caves in Pikmin 2 was the breaking point for me. They were long, hard, and painful. So, how are they in Pikmin 4? I can dig it. I still prefer the overalls compared to the caves, but they're finally good now. I guess it was because of how they were randomly generated in 2 that they were brutal, because these are actually balanced with some really good puzzle elements, and going back to them isn't a pain anymore. If you want to return to them in case you need more Pikmin, or you want to collect a treasure or a castaway you couldn't earlier, you can now choose which sub-level you want to go to, and leave at any time without losing anything. Stuff like this really made the caves a lot easier. Like for example, the return of the cave which you can only bring blue Pikmin to. That's funny. What next? Are they gonna bring back the water? Oh dear god! No! Pikmin 4 fell! Help me! I cannot believe they decided to bring this Flintstone car back! And it's not as bad this time. Maybe it's because with Pikmin 2, I kept trying to bring the treasures back despite this dude being there. But it's mostly thanks to the fact that when you defeat him and then come back, he is no longer there! Thank God!
Wait, really?
Yeah, going back to the cave in Pikmin 2 was annoying because even if you defeat him, he comes back. In Pikmin 4, he's gone for good!
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Not only are there safe spaces, but it's much easier to keep your Pikmin safe due to the fact that when riding Ochi, all of your Pikmin are bundled together, meaning no one tripping or getting caught on something. Plus, sending Ochi to get the treasures while you and the Pikmin are in a safe zone really helped me. So as you explore, you'll come across some leafy creatures called leaflings. They'll challenge you to test your Dandori skills. What does Dandori mean? It means to, as the game describes, organize tasks strategically and working effectively to execute plans. In a way, it perfectly describes the Pikmin series as a whole. So with these challenges, think of it like Pikmin 3's challenge mode. Your group of Pikmin will not join you and you'll be assigned Pikmin based on what's in the cave. These challenges start out easy, but as you progress, they get more challenging and really test your Dandori skills. You'll only need a bronze to clear the challenge and rescue the leafling. Huh. You're also like me in a way, but where do they come from? Well, your answer is a red leafling with a big nose and a dog. They look familiar, but that's not important. He's got a castaway and we need to follow them. Once we enter the cave, we are challenged by the leafling to a Dandori battle. Here, you must collect more stuff than your opponent before time is up. As you progress, more rules are added like bonus finds, golden sniffer, items, and sneak bombs. Bonus finds are ×2 multipliers on any object or creature. Golden sniffer will increase your score by a lot. Items are found in mystery capsules and these can either help you or hinder your opponent. And sneak bombs are really dangerous. The Pikmin or Ochi will carry it to the opponent's onion, and when it absorbs it, it will explode and some stuff will be released from the onion and it's your chance to collect it or retrieve it. So the person we follow turned the castaway into a leafling by putting them into an onion, and when we rescue them, we don't know who they are.
Which brings me to the nighttime mode. In this mode, you have one simple task. Protect the Numikno until sunrise. However, the glow on it turns the other enemies into a frenzy, and we'll all fixate on it. You see, the Lumino will help you produce a medicine that can cure the leaflings and turn them back. I wonder.
Don't even think about it.
And once the enemies destroy the Lumino, no medicine for you. Luckily, we have a new type of Pikmin who only appears at night. The Glow Pikmin. Their resistance to all of the elements, just like the Bulbman, please come back to me. When you finish a task, they spawn back to you. And when you charge the button down, they can stun enemies for a little bit and instantly latch onto them. So using the Glow Pikmin, you must either protect the Lumino until sunrise, or defeat all of the enemies. These are really fun, and can be a bit challenging if you don't plan carefully. Remember to keep stocking up on Glow Pikmin while waiting for the enemies to go red, tell Ochi to guard the Lumino, activate Trick Nose to lure the enemies away, and... wait, what's this egg doing there? Oh my freaking freaking good! That one too? To clarify, I've only heard of this enemy who only appears before day 15 in Pikmin 1, but I've never bothered to encounter it. But they brought him back? Multiple times? And he destroys everything in his path!
To help along your way are unlockable gears. After rescuing Rust the Scientist, you'll be able to buy gears for you and Ochi. The usual gears return Scorch Guard, Anti-Electrifier, and Treasure Gauge. There are other gears that are really useful, like the Survey Drone. It will let you see everything so you can plan out your day or see what creatures are in the cave. And the Idlers Alert will call all the idle Pikmin to your location without going to the Onion. Using these gears can be really helpful in the Dandori challenges and battles, so use them to your advantage. You're not the only one who can get gears. Ochi can get gears that make him resist to any element and make him a bit tougher. It's not much, but there are other ways to upgrade Ochi.
You can train him to upgrade his strength, and give him new moves like being able to pluck Pikmin or swallowing treasures whole. There are also these side missions you can do for the castaways in exchange for raw material. Oh yeah, you can use raw material to build bridges and climbable walls, and purchase items like pick carrots and bomb rocks. Not gonna lie, the fact you can carry them instead of your Pikmin helps out a lot. Anyway, you can do side missions like explore 100% of an area, build more Pikmin, find a certain group of castaways, etc. These are pretty nice and add some more things for you to do. Of course, we've got the bosses again. They play out like Pikmin 2. Some bigger enemies, and some of the caves ends with a boss. But now we have boss gates! Ooh! They're alright, some returning like the Emperor Bullblocks, and some new like this long-legged Disco Stew. I wouldn't say they're all memorable, Water Rhyme, but they're fun nonetheless. Not much comment. It is a little weird hearing the air horn again. We don't got that meme as much nowadays. The last time I remember it being a thing was Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Boy, time do sure flies. Forgot what I was talking about.
Yeah, these bosses were fun to fight, like the groovy Longlegs. Good beat, and I still can't believe there's now a Pikmin game with an air horn. Also, screw the refight with the Emperor's Bullblocks in the final cave! It got so bad I had to cheat it was co-op mode! Speaking about that, let's talk about it. Co-op mode is busted. So player 1 controls the Avatar and Ochi, and player 2 basically has a gun. Player 2 pitches pebbles which can damage and kill creatures, break down any walls, make the Pikmin carry stuff faster, and even throw items. As they help, they gain items like bomb rocks, scrummy bones, nectar, and ice bombs.
Not gonna lie, while it's a neat idea and it plays alright, the co-op mode is a little overpowered. It destroys bosses. I do think they could have done Pikmin 3 Deluxe co-op using Ochi. You can even switch between the two. It would have been perfect. And you can have player 1 get on top of player 2, like in Donkey Kong Country Returns. But all we get is Super Mario Galaxy. At least the bounce mode returns. Or Dandori Battle. It works pretty much like Pikmin 3 Deluxe, but with the rules you're probably familiar with after playing the main story for a little bit. Just as fun as ever with so much chaos.
They are fun to play. It makes me wish you could play these online. Hopefully there will be an update that will add online play.
Dude! Imagine Pikmin 4 Dandori tournaments!
The graphics in these games are amazing. When I first saw the game back in September, I was amazed on how beautiful the area looked. I mean, look at it! The music is pretty and really fits the theme of each area. Relaxing beach music for serene shores, the wilderness sounds in Giant's Hearth, and the epic rock music on the final boss. They really went out for this game!
Yeah, as I said before, big and beautiful. Even the caves look, well, better than Pikmin 2. Also now we can see this fat dude's butthole in HD.
So, you gathered tons of treasures, rescued tons of castaway and leaflings, and did some Dandori battles. It's time to rescue Olimar at Hero's Hideaway. However, the cave for the Dandori battle is locked behind a safe, so you need to collect 3 card treasures to open the safe. Once you open the safe and win the Dandori battle, the red leafling turns out to be Olimar and Moss, who runs away. So, we cured Olimar, found every rescued corpse member, fixed the ship, it's time to head home. The credits roll and... wait. Is that Louie? What are you doing here? And what did you do this time?
Oh no, he really is going to eat the treasures!
Anyway, let's enter Lightspeed and... uh-oh. Something's wrong with Ochi. He's not feeling good. When we return to the planet though, he's feeling fine. Turns out, his tail grew a leaf and is unable to leave the planet. The medicine from the glow set won't work, so we need to find a veterinarian to help us cure Ochi. We head to a new area, Giant's Hearth, to find that veterinarian, and upon landing, we see Louie with Moss, but they end up running away. When we find them, they end up capturing a castaway and tries to turn him into a leafling, but it doesn't work. We beat them and rescue the castaway who's from Kopai. Huh. Apparently, York is one of Alf's siblings. We also find another Kopai named Dawn Bergman, who informs us about Nell and where to find her. She's in the final area, Primordial Thicket, and after one final Dandori battle with Louie, he runs away while Moss stays behind. Olimar gets her to come to the base, and Nell informs us that to cure Ochi, we need a sample of another dog who hasn't been leafified. We learn that Louie found another dog and is in a cave that was covered by a boulder. This leads us to the final cave, Cavern for a King. This is the longest cave consisting of 20 sublevels. It's really challenging and has some bosses returning like the Empress Boblax and the Smoky Prog.
Yeah, this was the only time I used the glow seeds to grow gold Pikmin, which you can only have in caves at nighttime. Anyway, I do think it's better than the final cave in Pikmin 2, but it's still pretty challenging. Because you know what's better than fighting the water raft again? Fighting 2 of them, I quit. As for fighting the giant dog as the final boss, it's pretty good. The usual use all of your Pikmin types. Once we get his color and rescue Louie, we save Ochi and return back home. The end. And Louie even gives you missions to bring him enemies as ingredients. Oh my god. And what do you get? The ability to carry stuff too. Cool, I guess. Oh, right! I nearly forgot to mention Olimar's side story. This takes place around the intro, and how he got his ship pieces back. Oh my. It plays like Pikmin 1. My request has been fulfilled! You've got 15 days to get all 30 ship pieces, which is a bit intimidating, not gonna lie. And the days are shorter too, dear god! But... wow, I love this. And no matter what, the bad ending is canon. They even showed the Pikmin taking him to the onion and turning it into a Pikmin! Nintendo! Dude! And once you've done that, you can enter this cave with 20 really difficult Dandori challenges, but once you've completed them, you get the white and purple onion, which is neat I guess.
Yeah, the Sage Lee's cave was a pain, especially the one where you have to kill all enemies in a short amount of time. Now, there are 2 things we forgot to mention. One is, if you lost a Pikmin or left one behind at the end of the day, you can rewind time to a minute or 2. It really came in handy when I had an idea or wanted to redo something. There's also an unlockable Leafling outfit you can get when you rescue 10 Leaflings. By going to the stylist, she'll give you a side quest to rescue 10 Leaflings, and when you come back, you can change into one.
Oh dear god, no! Go freaking back! Save ourselves! We're gonna turn into Pikmin! And that was Pikmin 4. How was it? It is really, really good. It's pretty much Pikmin 2 but bigger and better, while taking elements from the previous Pikmin games. I loved exploring the areas. The keys were actually pretty good. The Dandori challenges and battles was a really good idea. Same with the nighttime mode. There's plenty of side content to do. All of a side story! And best of all, it's the perfect start for newbies. The only really big complaint is the motion controls not being as good. Please bring it back, Nintendo! I do still prefer Pikmin 3 Deluxe, mostly just for the gameplay style of doing turns on the game modes, but this game's a close second. My opinions aside, probably the best Pikmin game. You should get this one whether you're just wanting to get into the series, or if you're already a fan. The 10-year wait was once again worth it.
I agree. The wait and hype was worth it. Heck, it was so hyped that people took advantage of putting stuff on New York Times Square. If you need to play a Pikmin game, this is the one you need to play. I don't know what the future holds for the Pikmin series, but let's hope it keeps going strong. Well, Retro, looks like my work here is done. We looked at every Pikmin game, and now I must leave.
Wait! There's one more thing we still need to do. In 10 years on January when we review Pikmin 5, I'm making damn sure I use that screaming joke. Okay, in all seriousness, can someone else draw Pikmin 442 for me? I have no idea what I drew. Sorry, buddy.
No worries. I'm sure if we meet again, I'll come back stronger and can pick things up.
Wait, if you can't pick up things, how are you able to play any of the Pikmin games? So, Perfect Dark was a huge hit, and everybody loved it. Still do to this day. It was a really good FPS for the 64. But did you know that there was also a Game Boy Color version that released right alongside the N64 version? Who am I kidding? Of course you knew. There's nothing new I can teach you. You're probably watching this review out of pity, aren't you? You don't even find me funny! Yep. Today, we're going over this one. If we're gonna do Perfect Dark Zero, might as well get this one out of the way. Well, I'm willing to give this a chance, you know? I mean, Rare was no strangers to making portable versions of their own works. Heck, this was developed alongside the Game Boy Color version of Donkey Kong Country. So, without further ado, let's pop this one into our Game Gears and see what Rare could do. It's dark. It's very dark. She's perfect. That's a funny. So, from the Locatins, this game is a prequel of sorts. We start off with a final test of Joanna's training before she becomes an agent for the Carrington Institute. I will give them this though. I was not expecting voice acting in this game, let alone throughout the rest of the game. I mean, it's Game Boy Color quality, but I'd say it's a lot better than Pokemon Yellow.
Success will reward you with the license you so desire. Failure is not an option.
Yes, sir. I understand.
The same, unfortunately, can't be said for the music. Guess how many music pieces they composed for this game? 3. Only 3. And most of the game doesn't have any music! Maybe it's because of all of the voice clips or something, but I'd happily trade all of that for some more freaking music! And the music they did do are fine, but they aren't too pleasant. Anyway, the game controls in a bird's eye view. You can walk or run by double tapping the D-pad, shoot your guns, and go to your inventory to refill your ammo. Reasonable for the system. And you can even check the dead bodies for ammo and health afterwards. Kinda getting Resident Evil vibes here. Alright, I'm liking it. I'm digging this. This is getting crappy. The shooting combat isn't very good at all. You're just standing in line of fire and taking some hits. You'll probably survive 80% of the time, but it's not gonna work out in the long run. Especially when your enemies shoot at you before you can even see them. Yep, it's one of those games. You can try to sneak behind them and hide around, furniture that's smaller than my legs. But it's not gonna work out most of the time since you have no choice but to walk. And you have to be right behind them, then shoot. And it's probably not gonna work because you're either a few pixels off or they turn around. Why do I need to do this anyway? It's a bullet from the back of the head. Can't I just shoot them from a distance? Whatever. I failed the stealth part a few times, but the training's done. Time for a real mission. There's a jungle we gotta get to and blow up someplace. I don't know why, I honestly just wasn't paying too much attention to the story. There's not much going on anyway. So off we go, some ship crashed. Okay, and... I got nothing. It's pretty bland. Shoot the guys and find out where you're going. I'm bored. Throughout the game, you'll come across these two little, one puzzle and one event thingy. I'm tired. This puzzle is pretty much Simon Says. It's as basic as it sounds. It's alright, but just there. And in this tinny, We're basically shooting down guys in a first person's perspective. A little more interesting, but still just there. It's also pretty easy. You don't even have to get them all. Though, try not to kill the innocents. I like the training one where there's this little girl you're not supposed to shoot. Anyone else getting Men in Black vibes? There are other... Oh, minigames! That's the word! I'm London! But they only happen once. Actually, besides the training, that little Men in Black tin only happens once. There's this boat that we ride on, and it's pretty much like one of those on-rail shooters, but on the Game Boy. So it's gonna suck. After that, more shooting and being careful. Oh yeah, and the game supports Rumble. My copy was broken, so I can't do that. I'm sorry about the review so far. I swear I'm trying my best to— Whoa! Whoa! Oh! Oh God! Oh God! No! Whoa! I'm dead. Great. After that happened, and more of... We're now single-handedly taking down a helicopter. Just like that. By the way, you have to hold B to aim left and right. I didn't know that till a couple minutes later after dying so many times. Right after that, we're doing a sniper mission. Ooh, this sounds interesting. Nope! You have one ammo at a time. The gun won't stop moving about! And how do I know which guy is going to see which kill? And I thought sneaking about in Spider-Man PS4 was hard. Oh look! An enemy! Well, you can't blame me now, can you? Now we're inside a factory of some sort, killing some dudes, placing some bombs everywhere, which reminds me of that one scene in Goldeneye, and fighting giant robot spiders, which look like the Black Widow. No, not that one, Spider-Man one. Oh yeah, you can also find and use different guns. Boom. Boom! Boom! And now to kill this guy who has, well, just as bad voice acting as an N64 game, I guess.
You'll have to get past me first, girl.
Have it your own way.
What? I'm playing Crash and Spiral Fusion. What is this? Is this still Perfect Dark? Can we bring this back and reboot?
There was one odd thing. During the landing, I witnessed an aircraft being shot down.
Go! You witnessed nothing! Your back was turned! Next mission is to go to a secret base to download computer data for some reason. Nothing much to say here. It's hard to aim, and it's nearly impossible not to take a hit. The spider's back, by the way. Cool. Eventually we make it outside, and then we get caught and taken back to a ship. But then we got... Elvis? The alien? He tells us to blow up the ship that crashed, which they have. Probably the one in the first game with the Death Star weapon. And he leaves. We have no guns. He could have helped us with that along with opening the door. I think. Why doesn't Joanna remember him in the N64 game? Again, he appears and leaves. Just like that. It's for nothing more than, look, there he is, from Perfect Dark. Bye! And now we also have little health. One shot is enough to kill you, so you have to be sneaky. And it's too damn hard! And when you die by this point, you start all the way back at the room with 1% health. Dead! 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 After all of that, we activate the self-destruct sequence for the ship and make our way to... this guy.
Octopus Prime does not follow orders.
Dude even sounds like the guy from Transformers. So now we... shoot this tin down. Okay, and now the whole boat's blowing up. I love how there's no time limit here. You can walk around for as long as you want with the whole place exploding and you'll be just fine. Where the heck do I go? What a sad day. And off in a helicopter, avoiding fire. I'm sorry there's not much for me to say, I'm doing my best. After that, the Institute is under attack and has timed bombs everywhere. You have to disarm the bombs, kill all the enemies, and move on to the next room. I hate this, 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 I hate it. The time limits are so strict, and this game isn't great at fast-paced action. You're gonna take a load of hits with not much time to fire back or even be careful, and before you know it, you're dead! Even when you disarm the bomb in the room you're in, you're low on health. And once you move on to the next room and die, your health remains just as low as when you entered said room. So you gotta be extra careful. But the bomb's going off, so you can't be too careful. And either way, you're gonna die! This entire part took me 50 minutes to beat. And for the final boss, another helicopter. Great. And that was Perfect Dark on the Game Boy Color. I didn't like it. It was either too boring or too difficult. If you're a huge Perfect Dark fan, I guess you can have it for the lore or something. Yeah, you're better off not bothering with this one. Oh yeah, there's also multiplayer. I'm not gonna bother getting a second copy, thank you very much. Alright, so we remember Rare during the 90s, right? Lots of amazing games like Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong Country and 64, Goldeneye, Perfect Dark, and loads more I really need to try out. And then the 2000s happened. Well, 2002 at least. A game that was gonna be another new game was turned into a Star Fox game. Because why not? Nintendo made some great choices. Remember March 2021? And then Rare was bought out by Microsoft. Nintendo just let them go. Which means they would be making games for the Xbox. And Nintendo handhelds. And wouldn't you know it, there's a new Perfect Dark game for the Xbox 360. A launch title in fact. That's a little cool, not gonna lie. While I have heard of a few interesting things from Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, man that JonTron video's a classic. I don't really know what people think of this game nowadays, at least before I went to play the game. I was a little scared, but also curious. Well, looking into the development, the game was originally made for the GameCube, and then of course it went straight to the Xbox original. And because Microsoft then decided that the game should be a launch title for the 360, the game was rushed, at least during the final parts of development. And so with 5 days to spare, the game was released. Now, let's see what this game is like. Normally, I'd go into a game's story right away, but I think I'll leave that till last. All you need to know is that this game is a prequel. Another one. Joan Dark has ginger hair, for some reason. That's her dad, that's her friend, and they're bounty hunters. The game is, once again, a bunch of missions. The game plays more closely to a regular first-person shooter since the N64 controller is long gone. Move with the left stick, aim with the right shoulder button to shoot, all that good stuff. And they got rid of that auto aim thing, which is probably a good choice, but not for me. I suck at FPS, whether it be with a regular controller or a keyboard and mouse. I either can't aim properly with a controller, or I can't move very well with a keyboard. Either way, I can't win. You can also do a dodge roll to avoid enemy fire, hide behind walls and boxes, and you have a limit on how many weapons you can carry. And that's pretty much it control-wise. It plays like a regular FPS. The game itself plays alright. The missions are more action focused than stealth or spy. You do have some gadgets to help you, but the only ones you remember are the bombs and hacking the doors. You do now have the option to say different lines, which would have helped when I was in disguise in the first game, but they only happened twice in my playthrough, and only one of them was to sneak in. And besides the training mission, you'll only use that can spy once, and it was just to go straight. Okay, well, you rarely use that in the first game too. In the first mission after the training, you're told to sneak around and only use your gun when you're in trouble. But I swear, the only way around this guy is to kill him. There's nothing else you can do. And remember that little hub area where you got to explore about, get used to the controls, do some training, learn about the lore? Well, there's nothing like that here. And there's also these arrows on the ground that will point you to the right direction. While I do find it helpful at times since I can easily get lost in these kind of games, I do wish there was some sort of an option to turn them on or off. I'm sorry, there are some good features here too. For one, each mission has checkpoints, so if you die, you start back from a certain point, rather than the beginning of the whole damn mission. That was really annoying in the first game, especially with the last mission. There are also these side missions that can help you out a little if you choose to do them, and you don't get penalized for not doing them or failing them, apart from, of course, not getting as much help. I really like this touch. They should have added a difficulty mode where you have to fail the side mission to complete the main mission, which means making it a little bit harder. Hi Amira. Your shield does drain a whole lot faster than it really should, but if your health takes damage, all you have to do is not get hit for a while and it's back to full again. So this is probably a little broken, not gonna lie. Unless there's explosives or something which can make sure you can't heal back to a certain percent, it can really make the missions a lot easier. I mean, it's hard for me to complain. I suck. They did remove the anti-co-op mode, which is unfortunate, but the co-op mode itself still returns. Just pretend I played this with others. But get this! You can do co-op mode online! For 2005? That is really cool. I've got to try this out. Never mind, I need to subscribe to Xbox Live. Screw off. And of course, the combat arena mode. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't try this mode out all that much. Shigeru Motorbike's not in this one, so why bother? But from what I can understand, there's a lot of modes in this one. So if you have an online subscription and are good at FPS games, this might be worth a shot. And, well, that's all I can say for the gameplay, I guess. It's an FPS with some stuff removed and some stuff added. As for how the game looks, well, it's fine, I guess. There's something about it that seems off, but that's probably just me. The characters look fine, and I really like the environments. The music is pretty good as well. Sometimes there is no music. I can see the Game Boy Color version had a lot more inspiration than I thought. While David Klinik did an okay job for the most part. Once he started turning the music into rock, you just want to shoot past everything in your way, making me feel like I'm playing Ratchet & Clank. So yeah, he did a good job. Not as good as the original Perfect Dark game, and I'm gonna be honest, this is probably the wrong tone for the entire game, but he did a good job. Alright, so a brief summary of the story. These three are looking for this scientist who they've been after for a while. Oh, and they have to pay the rent, ha. After finding him, he wants his research to be safe. After that, he inputs his research into Jack, Joanna's dad, into his brain. And the dude's dead now. After that, Jack's being caught by Datadyne and is imprisoned in... Wait, China? China? Where Datadyne is? I thought they were in Chicago! By this point, I was thinking this was going to be a reboot of sorts, with Joanna's hair and... this. Out of all the things in this game, I would have expected Elvis the alien to appear. Wouldn't make too much sense, but I expect more than freaking China? What's next? A reboot of James Bond where he's American? Anyway, we sneak in, get out, Jack dies, we're looking for another scientist, we find him, and since Jack was talking about the research in his head to Joanna, all he had to do was do the thingamajig from her head and some device is complete. Her friend betrays us and kills the scientist. Turns out she's working for Datadyne. The Canton Institute rescues us, and Daniel Canton tells us that he needs her to stop Datadyne, who is looking for a temple in the forest. I do like this little bit where some guys are reading the glyph and they confuse aliens for gods. That's a nice touch. Anyway, we go to Africa where they use a device and a stadium to give the founder of Datadyne. And now we have to shoot him down. Yeah, an almighty and powerful human with godlike powers, able to throw pillars at us, shoot lightning balls, jump like Mario, and we take him down with some regular gun. The final boss in the first game, you at least had to kill him by finding another way around it, and he was just some regular alien. Eat lead, Zeus! God, why is this so why is this so funny to me? Anyway, we kill him. Credits. And that was Perfect Dark Zero. What do I think of it? Well, it's okay. Not for me. I don't know. It's not bad at all, but now it's nothing really special. If you and a friend or a few are good at first-person shooters, this game might be worth playing, but if you're playing this by yourself and you're not good at the genre, Don't get me wrong though, I'm sure they tried their best. Rare had to jump to 3 different consoles and went from the development team of 10 to 25, when the standard team numbers was usually 100 or 200 around that time. But I felt like they should have focused less on the multiplayer and more on the single player. That, and I suppose it was 2005, it was the dark and edgy era. I'm not a huge fan of that era if I'm gonna be honest. That being said though, the multiplayer is the main reason people remember Perfect Dark and Goldeneye, so I don't know. I suck at FPS, don't even watch this video. Oh wait, you just did. Ha! And right now, that's kind of it for Perfect Dark. After Zero, a 2-parter sequel to the first game was in development, Perfect Dark Core and Perfect Dark Vengeance. Unfortunately, they both got cancelled due to poor sales of Zero. And then in December 2020, we got a teaser trailer for Perfect Dark Reboot, not even being done by Rare. And right now, we're still waiting on the game, not even knowing when it's gonna release. Along with the whole 2023 thing, this game was really why I was thinking about reviewing these games, and why I was even thinking about getting an Xbox Series X. So, whenever that game releases, I'll be back. For those who haven't been keeping up to date with my reviews, I lost all of my Mario games. I don't know who, what, or why, but they just disappeared out of existence. I mean, Maker Silver 3000 somehow managed to save his collection of games. I wish I knew why. Now that I think about it, I should probably ask him. Huh. So for now, I can't play any Mario games. I didn't say I couldn't watch the movies now, did I? Now, as we all know, movies are a completely different genre to video games. They may share similar aspects to gaming, but they are their own beasts. You may find it hard to believe, but they've been around long before video gaming on a computer was even a concept, going back as far as the 1870s, nearly 100 years before the birth of video gaming. But with both being a popular media, they would have to eventually cross over. And in 1982, we got Tron, a movie about this dude whose video game ideas were stolen and wants the royalties for them, and then he ends up trapped inside this advanced computer's laser thingy to the computer world along with other programs, and now he has to defeat the big bad program to save the day, I guess. Personally, it's a little hard to follow, especially visually, but it's impressive that they were able to achieve all of this CGI. John Lasseter, or however you pronounce his last name, the head of Pixar and Disney's animation group, described it best. Without Tron, there would be no Toy Story. And no, I'm not going to talk about games based on movies. That's not what we're here to talk about. The first was Star Trek, on gaming's first portable, the Microvision. Just in case you were wondering. When I was a kid, seeing video game crossing over with movies or TV shows made me happy. Me and my family weren't very internet knowledgeable at the time, so usually the extent of my discoveries were certain TV episodes. Heck, I used to like Spy Kids 3D. Nowadays, yeah, no, it's bad. And I'm sorry guys, but I don't think I'm a fan of the live-action Scott Pilgrim movie. I say Wreck-It Ralph was the first really good video game movie I've seen. Of course, there were the bad ones from the early 90s to the late 2000s. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, well, Annihilation at least. The Wizard. It was hard to be a gamer sometimes, but I feel like I'm forgetting one. Now tell me something, how come we got a live-action Mario movie, but the Legend of Zelda being on the big screen wasn't as good as Skylanders? It was gonna be in 3D! There's probably no need for any introductions with this one. It was the first movie based on a video game series. It had Mario. It performed so very poorly. It got a steelbook case cover. What the fudge? I could make a whole video about this film, but I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna talk about the anime version. What did I say? First film based on a video game? Let me correct that. I meant the first Western film based on a video game. Japan had a little head start. Super Mario Bros. The Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach, or as its original name is called, Super Mario Bros. Peachy Heim Kaisi Cheese Da Saki Soon. Tell me if this is any good or not. I have no knowledge of Japanese. All the way back in 1986, released alongside another video game anime movie, Wooden Boy Star Soldier Secrets. I know nothing about Star Soldier, so let's move on. Along with Nintendo, the film was made by Grouper Productions, who had some experience with some Hello Kitty movies. This was almost lost media actually. It's never had her home media release outside Japan, and was only on VHS and Betamax, which is so rare, collectors of Nintendo and anime consider this the holy grail. If it wasn't for the huge Mario fanbase, we would never have been able to watch it. In 4K no less! Sort of. So I think I've rambled on for way too long. Time to watch us some anime. Oh, and the movie was made to tie in with the Lost Levels. Found this info last minute. Go! The movie starts with Mario playing a game on his Famicom. Meta from the very beginning. When all of a sudden, Princess Peach appears on the TV and is being attacked by the enemies from Super Mario Bros. And then she jumps out of the TV. Just like that. After whatever's going on, Bowser emerges from the TV too. And after an epic fight, he kidnaps Peach and goes back inside the TV. How did you not hear all that noise? After showing the title of the movie, which I most certainly can read, we cut to a grocery store which the Mario Brothers own. How many jobs does this guy have? Mario is too busy daydreaming about Princess Peach to work properly. After Luigi catches a glimpse of Peach's necklace, which Mario found next to the TV, yeah, that thing's a necklace, he gets overly excited. Apparently, the gem necklace is said to guide them to a land full of treasure. So they both decided to go there, but they don't know where it is. So Mario calls someone? And then a dog appears and steals the gem. After they both chase after it, they end up in a warp pipe that leads to the Mushroom Kingdom! This old man tells them where they are, and it's the same place as that treasure land. So they're happy. He then tells them that Peach rejected Bowser's marriage proposal, and because of that, he's horsing around the Mushroom Kingdom, turning the toads into bricks and such. Huh, just like the instruction manual. Professor Dumbledore asks the Mario Brothers for help. Oh, and there's also a legend that these two are heroes. So that's cool. In fact, that's why Peach came to Mario. Through the TV. So Bowser kidnapped the princess and is going to conquer the world in 3 days. I mean, he's going to force her to marry him. On Friday the 13th. And that gives Mario enough motivation to go save her. But in order to do that, they must first gather the 3 power-ups. The Mushroom, Flower, and Star. So off they go. And Luigi wants money because he wants money. Did I mention? The music's good. This one in particular has a really good rhythm to it, and it makes me want to sing. Doki 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 do it. In the next scene, Luigi is very hungry, and so two Goombas tells him about a place full of edible mushrooms. But it turns out that these mushrooms make you laugh, and cry, and get angry. How come they weren't in Alice in Wonderland? And then suddenly, a Koopa paratrooper takes them and brings them to her babies. They are birds! While figuring out how to escape, they notice this mushroom power-up on the cliff. Man, I love this soundtrack! After pulling it out, coins! But it turns out that the coins were the toads, or mushroom retainers. Man, games were different back then. After that, the gang makes their way to a place full of flowers with teeth. Wait a minute, but it's okay, they made it out alive. And the piranha plants got defeated because a few got tangled up? And then we meet Lakitu, who is mad because he wanted to feed them to the plants. So he throws down Spinies and does this pretty complicated way to wake them up. And then they all get surrounded until suddenly a beanstalk appears and saves them. And after Mario grabs onto a piece of Lakitu's cloud and uses it to save Luigi and the dog, and then the cloud turns into a toad. And then they get the flower power up. And so the journey continues. You can't kill a Buzzy Beetle with a fireball! Oh yeah, this bit is cute. Mario Ramen. Mario and Luigi then discover a trail of coins, which leads them to a gold mine, only for the Goombas to trap them there. I love how big they make this Hammer Brother look. They knew he was the worst enemy in the game. We then see Peach trying to escape, but nothing really comes of it. I also love how much of a softie they made Bowser, but also kind of threatening. There truly were a lot of fusts in this movie. It's also nice seeing a more familiar looking Bowser after lots of different designs. We then cut back to Mario, who is dreaming about having a dance with Peach. Damn! He's looking fancy! Nice to see him rocking that hairstyle all those years ago. Look at his little bow tie! How come this costume wasn't in Odyssey? While that was happening, Luigi dug an escape tunnel. Okay, that was funny. After escaping from the Hammer Bro, Luigi was upset that all of the nuggets he collected turned into rocks, and threw them all in the ocean, including the star power-up which somehow ended up in there. Mario then ran into the ocean and can breathe and talk just fine underwater. But can he shoot fireballs? Oh, what? You know how the big Goombas in later games turn into smaller Goombas? How come we never got that with the Cheep Cheeps? They then find a star inside a clam. What? And somehow that worked, and they now have all the power-ups. Then another Cheep Cheep chases them to a pirate ship. How does... screw it. Always to Bowser's castle. We then see Peach just about to be married to Bowser, until the Mario brothers arrive. Bowser takes Peach and runs deeper into the castle, and the brothers give chase. Okay, as cheap as this is cute. New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Mario makes it to the fiery area, while Luigi digs for treasure. Luigi! But while doing so, digs into a water pipe or something, and gets rid of the fire, as well as destroying the whole castle. Wow, it's that easy? Never take water leaks for granted. Always call a plumber. Okay, I swear I didn't mean to make this a Mario related joke. And then we get to the fight between Mario and Bowser, and I really like how it shows how much of a disadvantage Mario the regular guy is compared to the giant fire breathing Bowser. There ain't no axe and lava in this movie! So then Mario starts eating the power-ups, but before he can eat them all... God damn it, rice seasoning? What is it with this movie? I'm making money! But it's okay, Luigi found a star for him and Mario is now invincible. Mario then defeats Bowser, Peach's kingdom returns to normal, and Mario returns Peach's necklace to her. Turns out that there's another legend, that a prince with the same necklace will come and become Peach's husband. That's a weird legend. And just like that, the dog turns into a prince with the same necklace. Turns out that Bowser turned Prince Haru into a dog, and this means Peach's fiance is Haru. I do like how while this does shock Mario as he was in love with Peach, he's still happy for her, thinking about her before him. Aww. And so the Mario Brothers make their way back home, ending the movie. So that was the Super Mario Bros. The Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach, or otherwise known as the Mario anime. And honestly, even after watching the new Mario movie, I still quite enjoy this one. It's not the greatest movie or anime, there's not that much going on, and I haven't watched many animes from the 80s, but the animation seems cheap. There's a few errors here and there, and I ain't talking about the Buzzy Beetles! But as the very first movie to be based on any video game, and compared to the live action version we were all stuck with for many years, it's really good. I love the tins they took from the games, and very well might I add, for the time. It's kind of funny seeing the medicines that they would use for future games. Mario, Luigi and the other characters are portrayed very well, and I really love the music. I need that vinyl! I don't care if there's like 50 in the whole world, probably less! I need it! I have heard that some people find this movie really weird, and while it certainly has its own questionable moments, in my opinion, it's anime, and it's Mario. There weren't that many things that surprised me. What? It's not amazing, but it's a nice little film for Mario fans to watch. And, well, I guess that's it for today. Let me know how I did for my first film review. Of course, I'll still be doing video games, but the next film will be the live-action Mario movie, so hold on to your butts. Oh, and if this video gets out on time, Happy New Year's! Hope you enjoyed what I prepared for the next 2 years.